Hi here. This is a reading for the sign of Pisces. We're going to pull two cards from the Slavic Legends Tarot deck, and that's going to represent the energy that is currently surrounding you. What we see on the bottom of that deck is going to represent your general energy. We're then going to pull 9 cards from the Surrealist Tarot deck and turn those over little by little to see what story or message unfolds. What we see on the bottom of that deck is going to represent the general theme of this reading. And once we get an idea of what messages need to come through, we're going to pull 1 card from the shadow deck to represent what is in your subconscious. And what we see on the bottom of that deck is going to represent what you don't see coming. So let's just see what happens. Okay. So today we are tuning in to the energy of the sign of Pisces. So if that is your sun, your moon, or your rising sign, or however else you choose today to connect with the energy of the sign of Pisces, you can use that as a way to interpret whatever messages are coming through. And if the details of these messages don't seem to fit, do not try to force them. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not. And if none of the details are seeming to fit with you today, that's okay. You can always check your other placements, or you can just stick around and see what's going on in the world of other Pisceans. So let us see what messages we can receive today for those who are trying to channel the energy of the sign of Pisces. So what things can we be made aware of? What things should we meditate on? Are there any things that we should be cautious about? Any warnings we need to receive? Any things we need to look forward to or can look forward to? What messages can we receive today for those who are trying to channel the energy of the sign of Pisces? So let's get one more good shuffle here. This deck's being a little resistant right now. Okay, so we're going to pull 2 cards from here. So let's see what we get. All right, so your general energy is the Ten of Swords. So that's not a pleasant energy to be feeling right now, but not necessarily a bad one. So the Ten of Swords is representative of some sort of painful ending. It's where you sort of see some difficult situation come to its full completion, whether this is some difficult truth that you have to acknowledge, and it's time to just embrace that insight, as difficult as it may be, and move on from it. It could be something where you are struggling in some difficult situation, and it's time to just put it down and move on to the next thing. It's some kind of ending. And there is almost always some sense of pain or difficulty attached to a situation that is represented by the Ten of Swords. However, with that pain comes growth and moving on to the next thing. Perhaps you are feeling trapped in some sort of situation and you're not sure how to move on or get away from whatever it is that's holding you back. But the Ten of Swords energy is representative of that cage finally sort of collapsing on itself, perhaps collapsing on you in some way, but then being able to escape that once this painful ending has occurred. So it's a situation where perhaps maybe you're struggling through something and it's just you've been trying to make it through and you're just trying to make it work. And this is the energy of it's time to just put it into it, make it stop, move on to the next thing, let this thing be done, and let's see then what rises from the ashes of whatever this difficult situation might be. Now let's see what context this is in. We have an 8 of Cups and the Lovers. So I'm kind of getting the sense that this is perhaps, it's maybe a bit on the nose, but with the Lovers, this is perhaps something romantic. But not necessarily. It is likely something that has to do with your connection with some other person, be it romantic, professional, friendly, familial even. But perhaps there is some situation in your life that has perhaps become toxic or unsustainable. Perhaps it's a situation that's just not able to be maintained, whether that's because it's difficult for you or whether it's something that's potentially even bad for you. But there's some difficult situation that you have found yourself in, something that is not necessarily fallen in your lap, but something you have sort of consciously walked into and have been trying to make work. And you're coming to a realization that it's time to just walk away from this and let this be done, whatever this is. So you're in the energy of, I'm ready to put an end to this difficult situation, whatever it may be. And I'm seeing that the situation is likely related to your interactions with some person or some group, and you're realizing that the nature of this relationship has sort of run its course, and it's time to walk away, leave what's not serving you, and put an end to whatever it is that's making you feel attached to the situation. So that's the energy that I'm seeing sort of starting this reading off. So now we're going to pull 9 cards from the Surrealist Tarot deck to get a sense of what sort of story is unfolding with this situation. So let's see what we get. So this is the Surrealist Tarot deck. This is my most recent deck that I have purchased, and I have been using it just for the first time for this particular cycle of readings. So it's been interesting kind of getting a feel for it. It's a little different, but I've been enjoying it so far. So let's see what it can give us today. What kind of insights can we get about this difficult situation? So again, whatever this is, I feel you're likely deciding to walk away from either a person or a group. I mean, it may be a situation, but whatever this is, there's some situation that is not in your best interest, whether it's holding you back from growth, or maybe it's something where it's just not a healthy situation to be a part of. You're deciding it's time to let go of this and move on. So let's see what we get. So what 9 cards are we going to get from here? Okay, that feels good. So let's pull 9 cards. All right, and the theme of this reading is the Ten of Wands. So likely, whatever this situation is, I think the reason it is not serving you is because it is putting a lot of work or burden on you. So perhaps this is a work situation and you're detaching from some company or some institution. Again, it could be a group of friends, it could be another person, but whatever this situation is for you, it's coming with a huge amount of weight that it's putting on you. And that weight, I do not think, is serving you. And whatever it is you're trying to move forward with in your life, this situation that you're getting ready to let go of, or perhaps you have just recently let go of, the reason you need to do so is because it's too much burden. It's too much responsibility, or you're being asked to do things that are not being reciprocated, but you're realizing it's time to walk away, and you're going to choose to walk away from this by putting an end to whatever this is for you in your life. So let's see what the story tells us. So we start with the 5 of Cups. So likely, this is some situation you have been trying to make work for some time, and I feel like there was probably some sort of emotional catalyst for this realization that it's time to walk away. The 8 of Cups is a card of realizing that you need to move on. You need to let go of the things that aren't serving you. It's energy that's similar to the 5 of Cups, but the 8 of Cups is really, deciding for yourself that it's time to walk away. The 5 of Cups is something that sort of disrupts your life, whether it's a particular moment or something that just triggers your emotional reflex to something, and you realize that this cannot work. The 5 of Cups feels more like a sudden break. So I feel like whatever the burden is of this situation that's been weighing on you, starting here with the 5 of Cups, I think this is the beginning of the story, in the sense that this is the moment where something happened. Maybe somebody said something, or you found yourself in a particular situation where you realized that this is really upsetting me. This is either painful or aggravating or sad, but something has triggered this reaction that, okay, something has to happen now. We can't just let this keep going on as it's been going on, and we know here that this is inevitably going to conclude with the ending of this situation. So I see here the Five of Cups is the whatever is representing the beginning of this realization that you've had that you need to put to an end, whatever this is for you. So let's see what else we get. So, whatever this Five of Cups situation was for you, we see next here the Nine of Swords. And so, whatever this was that happened, this was probably some explosive event, and then you likely sat and reflected upon what had just occurred. And the Nine of Swords was you likely sitting in bed at night and sort of running over again and again whatever this was that had happened. And as you're replaying the situation and sort of feeling the weight of just how big of a turning point this situation was, that's what the Nine of Swords is representing. It's not a pleasant experience. It's you reflecting alone upon the pain that you felt with whatever this Five of Cups moment was for you. And here with the Seven of Cups, that's you then likely sort of in the morning waking up and going about your day and sort of looking at things a little bit more closely and deciding what's working for me. Now that I've had these insights, now that this event has occurred and I've sort of reflected upon it and gone through the feelings of pain or dissatisfaction that came with that moment, the Seven of Cups is then going into your day and looking more critically at the things that you're doing in your day-to-day life. If this is a group of people, this is sort of being a little bit more receptive, not receptive, but perceptive perhaps, and reflective on the way that people are acting and the way that that makes you feel. And so this is you sort of taking inventory in your out in your life as you're experiencing whatever this is, if it's a person or a place or a thing. Again, this is just you sort of being a little bit more active in how the ways that you're interacting with this thing are making you feel. So something likely happened. This triggered a reflection suddenly. The Nine of Swords is you sitting in bed, or maybe not necessarily literally in bed, but sitting back and sort of reflecting in your quiet time upon how this happened and how it made you feel. And this has now put you in this mode of, is this really a good situation that I'm in now? Am I really getting what I need out of this situation or from these people or this person? Okay. So we then see the Knight of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. So with the Knight of Swords, as you were going through this reflective period of, really reevaluating how your life is sort of making you feel, or again, whatever the situation is for you, the Knight of Swords is you now starting to get a little bit more, how should I say, maybe meticulous, and really not just sort of double checking how things are making you feel, but now really looking at that, trying to perhaps decide what needs to actually be cut out. So as you're doing this reflection, this is you moving into a period of actually deciding, okay, the things that aren't serving me, let's now really check that. Let's put our mental energy into deciding, okay, this is a piece of this puzzle that's not working, and then you deciding to cut it out. This is not the full-blown Ten of Swords energy, but this is you sort of moving into that mode of it's time to remove the things that are not working. So the first row is the event that happened, the reflection upon that event, and the reevaluating of the details of your situation. This is you now deciding, I'm going to take some action to start removing these things from my life. And so as you're going through the details of what does and doesn't work, that once you identify those things that are not going to be good for you, you're then going to remove those things. And as you're doing that, I think that's going to put you in this mode of the Three of Pentacles, where perhaps you're realizing that the things that do work for you, the parts of the situation that are in your best interest, those are the things you're going to sort of connect more closely to. So as you're really identifying the things that do and don't work for you, you're cutting out the things that don't work and sort of realigning yourself with the things that are part of, what makes you happy in the situation. What are the things that define you and make you a part of whatever this is? and getting closer and really getting more of a sense of personal identity from the things that do work, and again, removing the things that don't work. So, okay, so let's see what we get here in the middle of all of this is the Queen of Pentacles. So I think while this entire process is going on, you're approaching this from a very grounded perspective. We have the Knight of Swords. He's a little bit, sometimes a little too gung-ho to start cutting things from his life. And so the balance between these extremes of what you're connecting with and what you're removing is motivated from you understanding, I need to do what's right for me. You know, I need to stay grounded in my situation. I need to make sure that if this is financially related, that I have the resources to properly survive and sustain myself. If this is a situation with other people, this is the grounded, practical energy of realizing that if you're going to do things that are, you know, for your best mental or physical or financial health, that you're really connecting with things that are going to help you grow. Okay, so this is taking a really grounded, pragmatic look at what's going on. So we're on one extreme, we're cutting out things. On another extreme, we're really tying as closely to our own identity the things that we do appreciate. And the balance between those two extremes is this grounded, practical Queen of Pentacles energy. And really moving towards what is in your best interest and what's going to help you live the best life that you can live. So that's pretty nice. Let's see then what else we get here. We have the Queen of Wands and the Six of Swords. So the Queen of Wands is now an energy that is more about self-expression and passion and creativity, and really, you know, taking the experiences of your life and making something that expresses what you're feeling on the inside. So as you're doing all of this, you have this very practical sort of core to how you're approaching this situation. But as you sort of refine what it is that you are keeping and what you're getting rid of, whatever it is that you're eventually going to put down and end in this situation, the Queen of Wands is sort of not just tapping into the practical side, but really this is tapping more into the side of this situation that helps you get, so like the things that you're connecting with the most here, this is you not just integrating those into yourself, but then using them as a form of self-expression. So that this situation is not just one of cutting out things and not just taking things in, but sort of reworking, you know, how you fit into this situation or with the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And that's what this Queen of Wands energy is taking all of this energy and really not just removing and integrating, but then expressing, you know, what it is that you want to be doing moving forward. I see this as sort of, as we're going through this process and figuring out what it is that we need, this is you then taking that and using it as a fuel of expressing your thoughts, passions, feelings, not just getting in touch with the things that make you feel sort of more grounded and aligned with your goals, but really then taking an active approach to sort of express and nurture those things so that the seeds of what is sort of what you're holding in can then grow and get stronger and expand. And with the Six of Swords, I see this as sort of being I see this and this card sort of being sort of connected in the sense that this is taking things in and then expressing what you want to do with your identity once you realign yourself with the things that matter. And here the Six of Swords is, I think, connected to the Knight of Swords, where this is the card that's representing what we're cutting out of our life. And so this is the movement forward of, now that we've cut these things out of our life, let's reevaluate how we think and perceive our situation and use that as a way to get our thoughts in better alignment with what we want to do going forward. So this is the cutting out and moving forward. This is the integrating, and I feel like this is you moving forward with your self-expression. So this is how you're thinking about things, and this is how you're expressing things, okay? And so you're expressing the things you're taking in, and you're moving away from the things that you're cutting out. And again, all of this is surrounded by this very grounded, practical energy of, I need to do what's best for me, and so we're figuring out how that's going to work, okay? And here, our last card is the Knight of Wands. So with the Queen of Wands, I feel like this is nurturing that voice of who you are and what you want to accomplish, and figuring out how to best express what it is that you're feeling. And then once you're able to express whatever it is that you're feeling, the Knight of Wands is you being able to put that out into the world. So here you're taking these things into yourself and you're letting them become a part of how you express yourself and how you feel about things. And then once you have moved forward from the things you're cutting out and have learned to sort of speak your truth, so to say, this is you learning to really express the things that are making you feel unique and special. Then once we've done this process of removing the things that need to be removed and integrating the things that need to be nurtured, we then put those things out into the world. And with great vigor and excitement, you can move forward from the pain of having to cut out these things in the first place. So whatever the situation is, this is definitely a self-reflection of what needs to be kept, what needs to be gotten rid of. That's never an easy situation to do, and eventually there's going to be some parts of your past that you're going to have to just leave behind as you move forward. But as you do this, this is what's going to allow you to really be able to navigate the world in a much more passionate and expressive way, where you feel connected with yourself and the things that make you feel grounded in who you are. So let go of the burdens of the things that are not serving you. Whatever this moment was that sort of kicked all of this into action, when you finally realize that this is not serving you emotionally, reflect upon the things that you are sort of having happen in your life. Take the things that work, leave the things that don't, and learn to express yourself as best as possible. And that's going to be the positive outcome of this negative Ten of Swords experience that has to occur when whatever this is that you need to move away from or put it into really does happen. So let's see what we get with the shadow deck now. So we're going to pull one card from here to see what is in your subconscious. See what we get. Let's do one more shuffle on that, and then we'll close this reading out. All right, so we'll pull one card from here. So in your subconscious is Judgment. Yeah, so this is definitely moving on. This is definitely the beginning of some important change in your life, and it's coming through reflecting upon where you've been, what you're going through, and for this to be in your subconscious, this is the idea that your personal identity of who you are is attached to whatever this situation is. You've chosen to sort of latch on to some situation, and you're realizing it's time to move on from that. So we have to put it into whatever it is that you have chosen to connect with. And so the Judgment card is the sort of revelation that this is not what I need to be doing. This is not who I need to be. I can accomplish more if I learn to take stock of what is working and what is not, and put to an end the things that really aren't serving you. And then once those have been put to an end, then you can get back in touch with your creativity, and you can take that expression and you can put it out into the world, and you can start creating whatever it is that you create with your work, whether you're an artist or whether you are a business person, an educator, whatever it is that you do. If you're, whatever your job or creative work is, this is really tapping back into why it's the work that you do, and letting go of the things that are not allowing you to accomplish the goals that you're trying to accomplish. And what you don't see coming is the Magician. Yeah, so as you let go of these things that aren't working, what you don't see coming is just how much power you really have. Perhaps what has kept you in this situation for so long is that you feel that you do not have the power to remove yourself from this situation, and it's perhaps all the burdens of all of these responsibilities that you're having to take care of are keeping you detached from why you got involved with them in the first place. So put it into the things that aren't working, and you will be able to get back in touch with your true power, whether that's your creativity and your self-expression, whatever it is that makes you feel passionate and helps define who you are and how you move through the world. You're going to be able to get back in touch with that and put out the best version of whatever it is that you do. So take these revelations seriously, take stock of the things that are not serving you, and really make sure that you feel the pain of why this is something that needs to be done. And from a pragmatic point of view, this is going to allow you to really grow from this, reevaluation of who you are, what you do, and what you put your time into. So so I hope that was helpful. I hope that was, at least enjoyable for you. As always, leave a comment if you have anything that you'd like to share, or anything from this reading perhaps that stood out to you that you want to take note of. And as always, if you have not already, please like and subscribe the video. Share these with anyone that you think might enjoy them. And yeah, that's all I have for you today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.